Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the rundown we're going to be taking a look at the ever so mysterious Djinn. So for those of you who haven't checked it out already, the Djinn is an infested themed Sentinel released in Update 10. This is the first and currently only clan research Sentinel in game. It costs 6 mutagen masses, 30,000 salvage, 3,500 credits, and 2 forma to build, which leaves a lot of people asking, is it worth it? So let's start with the first mystery. The Stinger is a poison-based dart rifle. A lot of people have raised questions as to whether this weapon is the Sentinel version of the Acrid, and the simple answer is no. The Stinger was confirmed to have a damage over time component by the devs, but with a lot of playtesting, personal and everything else I've seen on the net, either the dot is tiny or it's currently bugged and not being applied. However, it does share one of the Acrid's traits. Too bad it's not one of the good ones. The projectile speed on the Stinger's darts are a tad bit sluggish, and unfortunately our Sentinels aren't quite adept at leading their targets. In fact, watching your Sentinel try to hit with this weapon at longer ranges can sometimes feel like cheering on little kids at their elementary school basketball games. You can do it, Timmy! You can do it! Now on to the Djinn's first ability, Thumper. It's just another basic fire at the first target inside ability, but it does seem to have an extended range. The only reason I want to mention this is the fact that it doesn't work all too well with the Stinger's projectile speed. If you plan on using the Stinger, it may be a good idea to keep an unranked version of this mod on hand so we'll only be able to target enemies that are a tad bit closer, and little Timmy can get a good shot in. Now on to the next big mystery. What the hell is Fatal Attraction, and why exactly does it cause my Djinn to periodically glow, then do a whole lot of nothing afterwards? So after doing a couple defense missions and the futile attempt to get Fatal Attraction to give me some sort of sign of what it did, I broke down and decided to do a little research. When enemies enter your Djinn's line of sight, it begins to charge up Fatal Attraction for 5 seconds. After that 5-second period, it will deal approximately 150 damage over 4 ticks to any enemies in a small area of effect. Now, I bet you're wondering why most of you have never seen it happen before. Well, the fact is, before the area effect triggers, the Djinn will scan the area to see if there is a specific amount of enemies within the AoE. If the minimum amount of enemies are not within range, Fatal Attraction will simply go on a 30-second cooldown. Unranked, it requires you to be surrounded by 5 enemies within a 3.5 meter range, while at max rank it requires only 2 enemies within a 5 meter range. Now let's take a look at the issues. This ability tends to trigger once an enemy hits the Djinn's line of sight, which means that you have 5 seconds to figure out where that enemy is, run to that enemy, hope you're in range of it, and also that there are enough enemies near that enemy to allow the effect to trigger. All for a whopping 150 damage over 4 ticks. I'm blown away. It also has a 30-second downtime regardless of whether it does or doesn't activate the AoE, which can be really frustrating when a lone charger hauls butt to you and puts the ability on cooldown before the rest of his friends can make it into that puny range. And the most ridiculous part of this is that this precept is only really feasible versus infected, due to the fact that the AI on most Corpus and Grineer tend to spread them out at a distance and put them behind cover. Also, there are currently 2 rumors flying around about this ability. Number 1, that during the charge time, Fatal Attraction pulls aggro from surrounding enemies in an attempt to draw them close, which I haven't really seen firsthand, and number 2, that it increases the spawn rate of enemies in a mission. This has apparently been data mined and there seems to be no proof of this, which is kind of sad because if it were true, it would make the Djinn great to bring into component farming missions. Now, as it stands, I can't recommend that anyone pick up the Djinn unless you're rolling in the mutagen masses and already have the rest of the infested weapons in Update 10. 150 damage over time, a depressing AoE range, and a wonky cooldown mechanic really put the Sentinel towards the bottom of the list when it comes down to usefulness and usability. I can easily say that my Shade and Carrier Sentinels have saved my life countless times, and that both Death Cube and Worm make great bodyguards. But when it comes down to the Djinn and why anyone would choose this over the much more accessible alternatives, now that's the real mystery.
Excellent work. We'll interrogate the captive back at base. Your part is done.
Check out the description box below because I'll keep you guys updated on any new fixes or information regarding the Djinn. And if you happen to like this video, go ahead and subscribe for more gaming content here at Gay Guy Plays. Seriously, Timmy, is this really the best time for you to be charging? I'm in a pipe.